Boom. All right, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to talk to you about why I personally believe we're about to see a short-term top in Bitcoin around $39,000 prior to seeing our first significant pullback of this bull market. So I'm seeing a lot of 40K calls out there. I think a lot of people are expecting a $40,000 Bitcoin, but I think 39K is more likely. I'll explain to you guys why that is. It's pretty simple. So we will get into that, but more important than the upside price targets is the downside price targets. I want to talk to you guys about where I think this pullback could potentially lead to on the downside and where I personally plan on establishing a greater Bitcoin position, accumulating more Bitcoin at a discounted price. Because I want to make it very clear right off the bat that I'm still very long-term bullish on Bitcoin. I'm very certain, I'm almost 100% sure that by the end of 2021, Bitcoin will be at significantly higher levels than they are right now, okay? But I'm still a trader. I'm still trying to optimize gains, and I want to share this journey with you guys and let you guys know what I'm personally expecting. Keep in mind, guys, this could not play out. Bitcoin's been ripping. We could just continue to rip. But I personally, again, if you guys have been following me, you know that I've built the majority of the gains over the course of my trading career, optimizing bubbles and capitalizing on bubbles and FOMO and hype. And this Bitcoin rally, in my personal opinion, just intuitively, instinctively almost, has been going on for a little too long now. We've been going parabolic for just a bit too long. And I think we are due for an inevitable correction. Keep in mind, guys, like we've been saying as well, corrections are a healthy part of every bull market. They allow the weak to be weeded out and make room for the strong, okay? So be strong hands, you guys. Again, I don't recommend trading to everybody. Trading it can be a dangerous game, especially with something like Bitcoin, when you're so confident that you got something so good and so with so much long-term fundamental potential. Trading isn't for everybody, and I don't recommend trading. But again, to each their own. If you want to trade this, do whatever you want to do. I just want to share with you guys what I'm doing personally and what I'm seeing on the charts. So again, we will only be covering Bitcoin today. I'm sorry if you guys are a little bummed we're not covering some Bitcoin related stocks, but keep in mind, Bitcoin is, as of now and for the foreseeable future, the king of this sector. And although altcoins can outperform Bitcoin sometimes, crypto-related stocks can outperform Bitcoin sometimes, the sector doesn't necessarily act perfectly in unison, which is understandable, which is to be expected. But keep in mind, this sector does still move somewhat in unison. It is still one big ecosystem. And if the king has fallen, the rest of the castle is likely to fall a little bit as well, okay? So that's why I want to talk to you guys about Bitcoin, because it does dictate the overall sector, and it's the easiest way to cover the crypto market in a single chart, okay? So before we get into it, I will ask you guys to please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it today. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, want to catch more crypto, stock, everything content like this, all trading, investment related stuff. And of course, check out my complete portfolio daily newsletter, first link down in the description. If you want to know how I'm personally trading, complete breakdown, my entire portfolio, I update that every single trading day. And with every update, I also send out a new email newsletter explaining my thoughts. Okay, so if you guys want to know exactly what I'm doing, again, Bitcoin is probably the least, because I'm so long-term fundamentally bullish on Bitcoin, that is the single asset I do trade the least. I might trade a little bit just because we've seen such a crazy rally recently, but I do trade crypto stocks. I trade a lot of other exciting stocks, other revolutionary stocks that we've covered on this channel in the past, we'll cover in the future. But again, I can only make so many videos. So if you guys want to know everything I'm excited about, everything I'm trading right now, first link in the description. If you want to join the Waves fam, I appreciate it if you do, but if not, no worries at all. Let's get into these charts, okay? So let's start with the upside and then go to the downside, which again, I personally think is far more exciting and appealing than the upside targets right now. So again, we're on the 4-hour charts right now. 4-hour is the time frames I prefer to use in terms of 4-hour candles, of course, in terms of swing trading patterns and dictating general price direction, okay? So we are obviously in an uptrend, and right now we are seeing some resistance right here. So this was to be expected. This orange line right here, this orange skinny line, it makes sense that it's playing out, and I'm glad I'm recording this as right as we're literally dancing right on top of this. So we'll start with the orange line, and then we'll talk about this thick green line up top, which is where that 39,000 price comes into play, okay? So this thin orange line right here, just because I personally do think we'll blast right through this and go straight up to this one, This thin orange line right here starts at the beginning of this parabolic rally. So I'm sorry, you guys, there are a lot of lines here. Trust me, I'm keeping an eye on a lot. I'm going to do my best to only let you guys know which lines are important. But trust me, each line has its purpose. This orange line right here originates at the beginning of this parabolic rally in mid-December. Around December 16th is when this top was set. And then you see this second touch point right here fairly recently, just on January 2nd. So traders are going to be looking at this, and that's something that's very important to keep in mind, you guys, when trying to read charts, when determining price action, is what are the masses going to be looking at, because that will ultimately determine the price. What are traders, what are quants, what are algos going to be looking at, what trend lines are they going to be looking at, because that's going to again, that's going to affect the price, and that is going to move the market. Okay, so that's why you can see right here, we've been dancing around here for a while now, and I do think it's likely that we break through this. I do think it's likely that we use this shorter term uptrend as the ultimate resolution to the upside. But still, we're looking at it. It looks like we're breaking through this now. I'd call this a breakthrough. So let's get to this top price target, move that a little bit. So as many of you know, we have been actually calling for a 40K Bitcoin for the better part of just this. I mean, time is going so... It feels like this short-term rally has lasted forever. Okay, so we were calling for 40K a few days back, maybe late last week, because that did coincide. I did expect this rally to end on Friday of this week, which is January 8th right here. So January 8th, I expected Bitcoin to kind of set its highs, maybe over the course of the weekend to set these highs, and that would have brought us to around $40,000 if we tested this short-term uptrend, which right here, touch point on December 26th. Once again, that January 2nd one, and then ultimately get that triple top, the triple header, hat trick, that's the word I was looking for, around 40K. So 40K, nice even psychological even, psychological numbers, psychological even was what we were expecting before. But now I think people are getting a little eager. We just keep ripping, and I think we're gonna hit that sooner. So the reason it's 39K and not 40 from a chart perspective is because I just think we're gonna hit it sooner. If we test this tomorrow, that would bring us to about $39,300. Test that. I think it's very likely that, again, after this test, we do ultimately pull back. And another thing that I want to share with you guys, the second reason I thought, like, you can almost instinctively call for 39K, because like I said in the beginning, that's why I said I wanted to preface this. A lot of people are calling for 40K, all right? And when the masses are expecting 40K, it's likely we'll get close, like very close. Again, like 39K is pretty darn close to 40K, but you got to be one step ahead of the opponent. Okay, a lot of people are thinking, okay, 40K, I'm going to sell at 39, and then 40K never comes around because the masses are going to start selling at 39. So again, this is where psychology comes into play, guys. This is where game theory comes into play. And charts are pretty much a form of psychology as a visual, and a lot of game theory plays into trading and charts, especially in bull markets, in hype cycles, in FOMO rallies. Game theory plays more of a part than ever. Okay, so you got to get game theoretical. You got to play the game a little bit, and that's why, from a psychological perspective, because everyone's calling for 40K, again, it's likely we'll get close. Everyone is willing that into existence, but I think 39K is a lot more likely. Again, just because I think we're gonna hit this line of resistance on the short-term uptrend sooner, but just from a fun game theoretical perspective, which honestly does really play a significant part, especially when we get crazy parabolic. It's just something to keep in mind, food for thought, you guys. It's not super serious, but it's something that I personally do. I definitely take into consideration myself. Okay, so that is the upside price target, 39K. That is my rationale for the upside. After that, again, the more interesting part is the downside price target. So where do I think we're most likely to see this pullback ultimately resolve? Just as a rule of thumb, you guys, I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. In bull markets, because we're in these fresh stages of this new bull market, everyone's super excited. We're going to see a long-term uptrend. So this long-term uptrend started December 15th. I would say this parabolic rally started December 15th. We are now a week into January. This has lasted for 3 weeks. That's pretty common. A lot of times in bull markets, you see like 3 weeks up, maybe 2 weeks down, 2 weeks up, 1 week down. It's not always the same, but just keep in mind, guys, it's usually the downside is usually pretty significant, but it happens faster than the upside. Okay, So keep in mind, things can fall a lot harder than they can climb. Even if it seems like the climb is so rapid, things can fall equally as rapidly. So because this rally, this pretty parabolic rally has lasted roughly 3 weeks, I personally am expecting a week to maybe 10 days of pullback. Just again, I've played so many bubbles, I've looked at so many charts, I've traded so many of these things that's just, I can't, it's hard for me to rationalize why that is, and I'm sorry. I'll try to think about how to articulate that better over the future. But again, you guys, it really just speaks to just putting time into the game. And I could very well be wrong, but just intuitively, I think we'll probably see 7 to 10 days of downside just because we've seen a 3-week rally. 7 to 10 days of downside. My downside price targets. The first is this thick orange line right here. And again, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of giving you guys, I'm really speaking, I'm vocalizing my thoughts right now. And that's because I'm sure you guys have seen these. I'm sure you guys know these are my downside price targets. So honestly, you guys could have just pieced out at the beginning. But again, I want to vocalize my thoughts to you and just try to rationalize this racing mind of mine when I'm looking at this chart. Okay, so bear with me, please. So my first price target is this thick orange line around $23,700. Again, give or take, I'd buy at 24K. Is because it was the beginning, it was the first high of the short-term rally. Again, this high was set in mid-December. We stagnated. We went sideways for for how long, or for how rapid Bitcoin's been moving. We went sideways around 24K for so long, from December 17th to December 24th. For almost a week, we went sideways. So this is a very, very strong floor. It's a very strong line of support for Bitcoin. So it would make sense to me, like that's just TA 101 right there. That's trading 101. Every time you see a parabolic rally, it will likely, on a pullback, it will likely revisit its initial high prior to continuing that overall uptrend, okay? And again, Bitcoin, in my opinion, will inevitably continue this uptrend over the course of this year. But again, I think we're going to see a healthy correction. I think I'm very confident it's in the cards. And trust me, you guys, everything I say, my money is where my mouth is, okay? So this would make sense to me. This is a very obvious price target, significant, very strong floor for Bitcoin. Again, just because it acted as such a significant ceiling. What was once a strong line of resistance will act as a new line of support with, you have to imagine, with similar strength. So it would make sense to me that we come down here, test the initial high of this parabolic rally that we've seen in Bitcoin over the past few weeks, and bring us down to 24K. So I will just say right now, Bitcoin at 24K. And again, keep in mind, you guys, this is likely when a lot of the other Bitcoin related stocks, GBTC most specifically, will see a bounce as well. Okay, GBTC is obviously going to be the most correlated with Bitcoin because it is a Bitcoin trust. So this can almost be a GBTC analysis too. Okay, so for Bitcoin, to wrap it up, my first price target is $24,000. Let's see what that would be. You know what? Let's just, for fun, let's do this. Where the heck is price range? Sorry, right here. So price range. Let's go from where I think it'll be about 30. Let's do 39K, ballpark it down to this first price range at 23,000. That is a 39% correction. That would not surprise me at all, you guys, just because we've seen such crazy price appreciation over time. Like a 30, 40, 50% correction is nothing to be afraid of. And again, you guys, if this is your first bull market, if this is your first cycle, it's gonna toughen you up, you guys. It's gonna build character. It's gonna build thick skin. So that is the silver lining of this. Do not get scared, because when you get scared, you are beaten out of the market by strong. And again, so just be strong, you guys. You guys know I always encourage strong hands. It's been a while since I've said that, actually. So strong hands really do prevail. Again, if you guys want to trade this, if you don't, to each their own. But if you do want to just hold on, trust me, it does build character. That's how I played the initial crypto rally back then. Now as a more experienced trader, I might try to trade a little more, but strong hands always prevail in the long run. Okay, so stay strong. Do not panic, sell out. Understand that corrections are a healthy part of this bull market. And again, I will continue to say that. I will continue to repeat myself because that's such a strong principle in my opinion. And yeah, so we'll see that would be a 40% correction if we correct from $39,000 to $23,000. At $24,000, I'm extremely, extremely comfortable accumulating more Bitcoin. And And yeah, so $24,000 is my first price target. That is where I would likely accumulate a fat old bag of BTC and Bitcoin related stocks. Okay, so again, if you guys are, I did promise if you guys watch like the Riot Mara videos, I will make a video once we start to correct, once we start to pull back. I will make a downside price target video for stocks like Riot and Mara as well. But again, if you want early access to that stuff, I always talk about it in the newsletter. Okay, I have all my downside price targets on there as well. So that is my first price target. That is why it's in orange. But then you see these red lines and this second little bullseye right here. So this is the high. This is the area we spent a lot of time at prior to actually breaking out, prior to actually setting off this parabolic rally on December 16th. Okay, so once we set that high, once we broke out of this area, this significant ceiling for Bitcoin, we went absolutely parabolic. So from 20K, obviously a huge psychological even, up to 24K. So that's a significant gain. But again, that was the initial catalyst to this short-term parabolic rally. All right, and this is the true like initial high prior to the rally. So you could consider this this is the initial high of this rally, but this was the area we spent time at prior to actually breaking out of this short-term rally. Okay, so again, 24K, I would be comfortable personally buying at 24K. I think that is an absolute bargain. But if we come down to this area we spent time at prior to this absolute rally, keep in mind, you guys, in the long term, this is like back in October, Bitcoin is at $11,000. If we get to $20,000, like Bitcoin is still 2x. Bitcoin is still doubled in value since just over just the course of a few months. So on the year, we're still up significantly, but we might come down here where we spent some time prior to December 16th, and that would bring us to about $20,000. If we hit $20,000, I'm all in, baby. All the chips are going in. I'm just picking up a position and riding that bad boy to the moon. Okay, so those are my downside price targets. Again, $24,000, $20,000. It's as far as a percentage, it's somewhat significant. But again, you guys, I'm here for the long term. I'm here for the long run. Although I am trying to trade, I'm trying to trade as well. I'm trying to optimize profits, not only for myself, but as to lead by example for you guys. Yeah, I'm comfortable buying at 24K, and I'm going to become irresponsibly bullish like I was on Riot a few months back if we do reach 20K. And if we do get to 20K, I assume stocks like Riot, Mara, MicroStrategy are going to be at absolute discounts as well. So, I mean, I would be freaking pumped, in all honesty, if we came back down there. Take some profits up top. In all honesty, I took a solid amount of profits. Shout out to the newsletter. I took a solid amount of profits today off Riot and Mara. And we'll see how that plays out. But again, corrections are a healthy part of this bull market. I'm confident we will see pullbacks. And I mean, if I was to say one thing to any of you who may be newer to this space or new to crypto or new to bull markets in general, is just stay strong. Once again, like, corrections are going to happen. Understand that it's a healthy part. It's easy to get scared. Trust me, everyone does. It's natural. It is human nature to get scared when you're losing money. If you hadn't sold, if you have a position that's been doing really well, you see it start to slam to the ground. It's understandable and it's reasonable to be scared, but that's when you have to act rational. And that's why having strong hands, even if you don't trade this, is so important. If you're a beginner, I would definitely recommend, although I'd never give financial advice, if you're a beginner, my recommendation is don't trade. If you got a good position, just ride that bad boy out. And it's because those lows, those down days, those elongated periods of losses build character. It builds thick skin. It builds a strong stomach. It builds strong hands. Okay, and that's something that's a characteristic that will last you for your entire life. Okay, so that's very important. And again, that is just, if I was to boil this down to one principle, it is that. Okay, so keep your hands strong, stay rational, keep your feet planted through these volatile times, because things are getting crazy. But hey, that's a sign that we are in the bull market, you guys. Volatility is the new normal, and in all honesty, I'm comfortable in the volatility. I love the volatility. That means that again, we are in this bull market and we're just in the early stages too. So please let me know what you guys think. If you guys think we're going to hit 40K, if you think we're plopping straight down to 10K, whatever your wild price predictions may be, or if you agree with me, literally whatever you guys have to say. Always interested in what you guys are thinking. Love talking to you guys. Love learning from you guys. So I will catch you downstairs. And until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.